Hey Wally, can you please make a VFX breakdown of what you put on your scenes in After Effects? Sure thing. So, let's get right to it. So, the first thing we're going to look at today is the opening cinematic of Weekend Recap number 24. And this is a Sunbreaker challenging a Blade Dancer. And one of the shots we'll be taking care of, more specifically, is the second shot. The shot where the Titan walks towards the Blade Dancer. I mean, it's kind of like a over-the-shoulder type shot, kind of. And so one of the things I tend to do first off is adding more camera movement to the shot, especially with OTS like this. I think it's kind of cool to add more camera movement, as if it's like, as if there's actually like a guy behind the Titan kind of holding the camera, trying to keep up with him. And so that's kind of the effect I'm going for, and so we'll be doing that with the S shake, and I'm going to add some motion blur on top of that, and on top of that motion blur we'll be adding some RSMB as well for extra smoothness. Once I got all my parameters done, especially with the walking movement and all that, I'll move over to color correction. And this is actually where I have a lot of fun, because especially on a map like Bastion, you can play around with the midtones and especially the shadows. And since we're on Bastion, like I already said, we can play around with blue shadows and red to orange midtones and highlights, because the sand and the sky really make it for a big contrast. Also, we're dealing with a hammer, which means orange and reds. They all tend to pop out, and since they're highlights and midtones, they're really gonna pop out. So you're gonna have a lot of fun with that. I also tend to detract some contrast to give it more of a faded look, because that seems to be the rage these days. So I tend to detract a little bit of contrast, but I tend to make up for it by adding a curves effect, increasing some contrast there. And once that's done, you're already halfway there, so we're almost done. Just keep up a little bit. Next up, we're going to add some sharpen to make the footage a bit more detailed, and for the finishing touches, we're going to be adding a little bit of glow for the hammer and the blade, just because I can. And to top it all off, some letterboxing, and hopefully, if you did everything right, it should look a little something like this. I hope that answers your question, Chili. I hope you enjoyed it, and let's get right on to the video. Hello everyone, this is Walter Hazard, and welcome back to another episode of Weekend Recap. This is a video series where I talk about the videos that I uploaded this week, and sometimes even the week before that. I'll also talk about the videos coming next week and what to look forward to. In these episodes, you'll also find some Destiny news as well. Not a lot, but just enough to find your way out there in the wild. And with all that out of the way, the topics for this week's recap are this week's video, some intriguing Destiny news, and of course, next week's video. So this week, I released the Q&A video, and as you guys already know, last week I made a video talking about sending your questions in, and boy, did I get some juicy questions. Hopefully you guys got to know a bit more about me as an editor or as a person, and yeah, I had a lot of fun answering those questions. So if you guys have any more questions you'd like to know more about, feel free to ask me in the comments below, and I'll make another Q&A video. In Destiny news, Bungie released more news than usual, and I mean that in every positive way possible. First up, they talked about the Age of Triumph, the last live update to come to Destiny 1. It is said to be filled with memorable experiences and rewards, and honoring us Guardians. It kind of feels like a matchup of Bungie Day, Moments of Triumph, and the last year's April update. The actual release date is unknown, but we do know that it will be coming out at the end of March, and to make the wait a bit more bearable, they're going to be hosting a stream every week starting next week. So next Wednesday, March 8th, they'll be revealing the live update. The week after that, March 15th, they're going to be talking about the weekly rituals, and for the last one, which will be held on March 22nd, they'll be shedding more light on another sandbox update. So all in all, it's pretty exciting stuff for any Destiny fan, really. So if you're looking for more content, keep an eye out on Bungie's Twitter and Twitch for more updates. But that wasn't everything they shared with us. Bungie made a few statements on the sequel that will be coming later this year. They said that Destiny 1's power, possession, Eververse related items, and currency will not be carrying forward to the sequel. Instead, only your class, race, gender, face, hair, and all that type of stuff will be carrying forward for those who've achieved level 20 and completed the Black Garden Sword mission, that is. So yeah, personally, this doesn't really faze me. I mean, I do, however, find it weird that the emotes, shaders, and emblems won't be transferred over to the sequel, but oh well. I'd rather have a completely fresh experience with new guns, new locations, new everything, than having stuff from your previous experience just dangling around. I mean, it's nice to have, right? But I just want new stuff, to be honest. And in closing news, for next week's video, I'm not really sure what to be releasing first because I got two pretty dank ideas I want to share with you all. But yeah, like the first one I can work on easily, but the other one is more ambitious but requires actors and manpower. And yeah, so as always, I'll let you guys know what the video is going to be before I upload it. So keep an eye out on my Twitter. And with all that said, we have arrived at the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and stuck around. If you all enjoyed the video, consider giving it a like and maybe even subscribe. If you didn't enjoy it, then well, give it a dislike. You can also follow me on Twitter, where I post really stupid tweets and pictures, and I also tend to post a few albums here and there here on Twitter. So yeah, if you want to check those out, you can do so over there. But in the meantime, guys, thank you so much for watching. I've been Walter Hazard. Enjoy your Saturday. That felt nice. And I'll see you guys on Wednesday or Thursday. One of these days. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.